What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. PayPal link there also asked me to put it up, so I'll put it up. Thanks everybody for supporting. This video is entitled What's the Fate of a User? American culture is kind of enabling to users, right? It's, part of the hustle culture, part of the I'm getting over on people. But a lot of times people get mad because they get used, but you never take into consideration what's the fate of the person who's a user. And normally it doesn't end well. And what I mean by that is a person who's a user, in some ways you can call them an opportunist, right? They look at every situation as an opportunity to come up. And here's the problem. This is why they wind up with a negative fate a lot of times. Is because when people are an opportunity to come up, or situations are always an opportunity to come up as far as being a user, your focus is on the come up. Your focus isn't on the skill or the craft. So even if you're a user, you get better at what you practicing, which is using people. You never got better at being productive. You got better at being a leech. The reason I'm talking about this, I had this conversation with my son where, that's the difference between a giver and a taker. A giver has some type of skill that gains them the resources that they're able to give. A taker is just a person, handout. Take. And, looking at how much everybody else has and how much of abundance that everybody else has, they feel like everybody should, you should give me some too. But even givers have a stopping point with takers. So producers have a stopping point with users, right? So the fate of a user is normally on a downward trajectory because all they know how to do is find people to use. Not understanding the older you get, the farther you are behind it being a producer and productive. So even though you may meet people who can give, they'll still, look at you in a way like, you mean you don't produce anything? Like you're not a productive member of society at this point in your life? Not for society, but for yourself. You don't understand the pride of working, saving, and getting something of your own that your sweat equity purchased, that all the hours that you put in purchased, that all the overtime that you put in purchased, that all the hours of bettering yourself outside of making an income in your career or job purchased, the pride of going, yeah, this is my little car. I don't care. You might not be nothing to you, but it's mine. I work for it. This is my apartment. Might not be nothing to you, but it's mine. This is my furniture. This is my townhouse. This is my house. This is my truck. I work for it. I earn this. This has my name on it because I put in the effort for this, and I'm gonna take care of this stuff. See, the fate of a user is one of constant trash. Everything's to be thrown away. If you've ever been around a user or opportunist, you have a tendency to notice that they don't take care of things because they're so accustomed to being entitled and people giving them things that everything is trash to them. Because in some ways, some users are, you would say, kind of religious. They believe in fate. They have faith that other people will come along and give them more stuff. So they never accumulate much because, you know, here, I could get something from somebody else later. And how does that fate wind up bad? That fate winds up bad because what winds up happening is you can accumulate a lot of things from a lot of people by using a lot of people. But here's the problem. You have nowhere to put it. So that's why it's always trash. Somebody could have gave you a car. You don't have a garage. Somebody could have helped you get a car. You didn't take care of the car because you didn't care. You didn't know about the process because you're a user. You feel like somebody else, eventually, if somebody helped you get a car for you, somebody will come along and help you get a better one. So then you wind up without a car. You know, and sometimes, you know, God has mercy on people and God has grace. And sometimes the fate of a user is the grace and the mercy fades. Because you're supposed to be appreciative of grace and mercy. You're not supposed to toss grace and mercy in the trash like everything else. So now you become a user to God in your own faith and ability that other people, God will send more people in your life. God's going to stop. He's going to stop. You know, that's the fate of a user. The fate of a user, a lot of times, is a person haunted by the memories of when they won. And what I mean by that is, you know, they've been an opportunist and a user and a leech, and it gets them to a certain spot, and they won. But when they won, that was the opportunity for them to say, you know what? Let me, you know, I'm where I'm at right now. I better straighten up before, you know, because I don't know if this is going to happen anymore in my life, because I lucked up in this spot. But instead of saying I lucked up, I could go higher. This is what happens. You know, gold diggers get old, and they think I could do it. You know, hustlers, you know, get old, and they still hustling. I'm gonna hit a big lick one day. It's over. It's it. That's it. You know. And the other fate is also the breakdown when the run is over, because sometimes users have this false sense of confidence where users think that, you know, they're up here and you're down here. They're using you, so they think they're up here, and you're being used, so you're down here to them. But the problem is, when you separate, when you get out of their lives, now they're down here because they need somebody to use, and they got nobody to use, and you're up here because you're not getting used by them. And now they're not as important as they once were. And see, users wind up getting used. Like I know young women right now who spent their youth using men, and now they're somebody's sex toy, because that's all they offered their bodies to use men, and then they ran out of men to use, and now they wind up prey to the, you know, they prey to the game now, right? I know guys who, you know, they wanted to hustle and scam and use everybody, and now they're out of luck because there's nothing, you know, they're too old to be running game. They're too old to try to scam. Just in the way that they carry themselves. You know, they have nothing to show for it. Sometimes you got the old players with the old jewelry still holding on to what it was back in the day, or, you know, or the old swagger that they had 20 years ago. I still got it. No, you just holding on to the past because your real life sucks. And you know, you never picked up the pieces to when you use so many people that you used yourself. Because that's the fate of a user. When you're an opportunist and you're a user, you use so many people that you use yourself up. Because by the time before you look up, you might have had a fun life for a stretch, but you have no idea how to maintain a life now. And everybody else who's maintaining their lives and growing and evolving are the people that were given to you. And you as a taker your life keeps going downhill. You know, so if somebody's if you feel like you've been used, or somebody's using you, at the end of the day, you know, they're gonna burn the bridge from everybody and burn themselves. You know, and you know, hopefully they change, because there are people who've been users and opportunists who've changed and turned their lives around, and they became better people, and they saw, you know, wow, this is how I got down. I can't do this. But a lot of people really just are users and opportunists. They get depressed and they become self-destructive because they can't use themselves. So we done. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.